right, Pisces, welcome into June. How are you guys doing? It's just looking at your astrology, how this month is likely to impact you. I would urge you to go check out June 4th's morning message. Okay, if it resonates with you, then I'm right about this. I'm just saying, like, it really seems to what I said in that morning message, which is airing on June 4th. So this is airing before then, likely is to echo this reading a little bit. The astrology certainly echoes this reading a little bit. And what I mean by that is this has to do with your upbringing, your nurturing, how you were nurtured or not, and how it has impacted the story you tell about yourself, what you say about yourself. Pay attention to your own way of talking about yourself, or are you gaslighting yourself, kind of a thing, and second guessing yourself? Do you have a lot of problems with that? Or are you like, Gandalf? Have you crossed that Rubicon into being the sort of the spiritual hermit, the spiritual guru? Have you crossed that? Because this June can be a pivotal time for that. So just saying, if that resonates with you, then I check out the morning message for June 4th as well. All right, air energy here coming up, nature spirits, absolutely. Shadow, wow, yes. Okay, what I just said, and water, obviously you're a water sign. So a lot of your spiritual gifts only come when you walk through the shadow of death, the valley of the shadow of death, or something like that in that very famous passage. It really only comes from that time. Like the most profound change you have will come from that kind of experience of going deep. And, you're a Pisces, so you get it, right? Like this is, you think this is a blessing and a curse at the same time. That I can never learn anything without having to dive deep into my inner child work or my shadow or something like that. Like, why can't it just be a lesson of, oh, I see this and I'm going to learn this now? Well, because that's your lot. That's part of what you're here to do, is to go deep. And let's see what the reading shows. But my. So we're talking about Gemini energy. And Gemini energy can be about going into rabbit holes a little bit. Okay, Gemini is Mercury ruled. We are in Gemini time right now. And that can be about going into rabbit holes about things that you are, and this is air sign energy, right? So you could be thinking a lot about this kind of stuff. Like, why am I having such a hard time with my love relationships? Why do I have to, go into therapy just to be able to deal with my new boss? Why can't I just open up to my guides? Why can't I just, because that's your lot. That's part of what you're doing here. I see that 10 of Swords, and now I see this 10 of Wands, because this is part of your job, is to walk that path so that others can walk it too. Did you hear what I said? Because we are in Gemini time, and this is about telling your story. And some of you might have really gone through some deep transformations, and Gemini is about being a writer or being a communicator in some way. Maybe you start a podcast. Maybe you're going to do some kind of blog, or maybe you're going to do some kind of book. But if you have had, some of you might have had near-death experiences, which indicates to me shamanistic capability. That's one of the indicators of being a shaman, is that there's some kind of experience with death that is very profound, right? And your own experience with death, or you can have experience with other people's death, but that's not an experiential kind of thing. It's a not internal thing. You might be connected to someone who's died, or have a lot of people in your family, or a lot of death in your life. That can be very shamanistic, that you're being, so it's like, oh, I'm not having the near-death experience. I am experiencing it through somebody else's experience of it, but it has impacted me in such a profound way that it maybe has triggered some things for me. And it's really time for me to work through that. It's also time for me to shine the light on that and tell the story about that. Okay, that's for somebody. The 10 of Wands, Page of Cups, the Strength card, the Fool card. Wow. The Judgment card. Look at this. Wheel of Fortune and Moon. All right. So you are definitely, okay, I just want to say this to you. So you might have experienced childhood in different ways than a lot of the rest of us have. I don't know. Maybe you've just had a lot to put up with, or a lot to deal with. And, you know, it's all relative. Like sometimes you don't know, you know, when we were kids and we talked about like what would be the greatest superpower, I always was like, I want to be inside someone else's skin for 24 hours. I want to understand how they feel pain, how they see things. You know, what if they look at a beautiful plate of dinner, salad, beautiful whatever, and they're like, ew, repelled by it. Like, I want to experience things the way they've experienced it. What if you are experiencing transformation and death the way other people are experiencing it? Wow, this is almost like a superpower for you. Super duper empath, but it can be overwhelming. It can feel like I'm taking on the world, right? Like I've got the world on my shoulders. I only do a little bit. I only say a little bit or whatever. And all of a sudden, ugh, like all this stuff comes to me. You've got to learn how to work with your mind and work with the way you handle emotion, especially other people's emotion. You're going to have to, it's like I have a little conversation. I say, how are you? And they like all over me. And it's time for you to really learn how to manage that and manage other people without you feeling guilty about it, without you being like, you know what, this is a lot. But you don't have to push people back. You just have to learn how to protect your own energy, and you don't swallow everybody's pain. Your job is to, yes, hold space for them, but also be in that energy of, I'm transmuting that into wisdom for myself. I'm not experiencing it the way I have been my whole life. I have been in this place of being the transducer, the conductor of energy of everybody. And it's time for you to stop doing that. I realize that it's something that is kind of a superpower, but it needs training. It needs for you to work with it because, when, Pisces energy is 12th house energy, and 12th house energy, yields kind of two experiences, either like the guru, the guide, the shaman, the mystic, or the heroin addict. Just saying. And there can be addictions as it relates to helping other people navigate their journey, but you become drained and you become addicted to either the ability to do that or some kind of addiction around, I've got to help them. Like I can't just say no. I'm becoming overwhelmed and drained because I'm helping all these people, but yet I can't say no because that's my mission. But part of being a spiritual guide, a teacher, part of being that is you need to be able to have boundaries in your life, because that's going to be healthy for you. Because if you burn yourself out, you're helping no one. Okay? Helping no one. So there's something about the Gemini energy, which is saying to you, hey, it's time for you to really tell your story. I will go deeper into the astrology in the extended, but suffice it to say, we got a ton of planets in Gemini. We've got a ton of planets on that side of the birth chart, right? The transit chart. We've got a ton of planets, everything from things just move through Taurus, but like Aries all the way into Gemini. Aries into Gemini. There's a ton of planets. Okay. And next, this month, later in the month, we are having things move into Cancer finally. But there is this sense of like all of the planets are existing in Aries, Taurus, Gemini, and Aries, Taurus, Gemini. So there's just this like a bowl of most of the energies. Okay. And there can be, the only planet on the opposite side in Libra is the South Node. It's really out of balance. There's a lot of out of balance. There's a lot of air in some of these other houses. Capricorn has it. Like there's a lot of imbalances going on right now. And if you're kind of taking on everybody's stuff, it's not going to help anybody. So the Knight of Cups, Queen of Swords, the Star, that's a healing energy. Nine of Cups, Knight of Cups and Nine of Cups sound very similar to me. Especially if you're just listening to this. Nine of Wands. Some 9 energy going on here. Emperor energy. Lots of very strong Aries, Aquarius, Cancer, Sagittarius, Leo energy. Page of Swords, the Empress, and the 7 of Swords. So I'm going to say to you that I feel like you are going to be communicating what you need more. You are going to learn about boundaries more, because this feels to me like, you know, if we're talking a lot about, we are talking a lot about the 4th house, which I'll talk more about in the extended, but we're talking a lot about how you were nurtured or how you were raised to sort of take on everybody's stuff. And when you start being this emperor, when you start standing up for yourself and saying, you know what, I'm not going to do that, but also working on how you navigate this so you can be a healer. You don't have to say no to everybody and go live on an ashram. You know, you can learn to manage your own energy, manage how you deal with other people's energy. That's the skill. That is the skill. Like you have a natural talent, a natural capability for feeling other people's feelings. Awesome. But there needs to be a developed skill around that and how you can work with that and how you can also grow and be powerful in your own energy, your own emotions without being swamped. Okay. So Emperor, when you start doing that, there can be a sense of gaslighting yourself about, oh, I shouldn't have turned that person down. And oh God, what if something bad happens to them? And, you know, like that kind of thing. Becoming the Queen of Swords is like knowing your limitations, knowing and not lying about them just to say no. Like learning how to say no is going to be a big one here. I feel like you have people who are very, there's a lot of really strong energy here. Now, this could be your family's energy around you. This could be a friend circle. This could be a working environment. There's a lot of strong characters here. A lot of dynamic energy, a lot of power energy. And this can be triggering if you are someone who feels everything. Okay. And like I said, number one job is for you to start to learn to manage that. Start to learn how to communicate and do the healing when you are prepared for it, when it's something that you feel is important to do. When someone asks you if you are becoming a healer, if that's your livelihood, then how do you draw some boundaries around that? How do you not kind of get sucked in to what other people need all the time without, you know, especially if it's draining to you. I feel like some of you are very nurturing, very, very nurturing, always nurturing other people, always attracting love partners who are, you know, man children or woman children or something like that. And it's not healthy for you. It's not. So I like the presence of the Emperor and Empress because I do see someone who is balanced. Once you balance this, you will be able to be in a relationship that isn't toxic, that is healthy, that is honest, based on honesty, based on true needs and not well, I should do this or I should do that. Like, I definitely feel that some of you have had it up to here with what I'm talking about, being overwhelmed. And it is time. It is time. Now, the shadow element here, you might just feel like you always have been dealing with this, but you could be someone who helps other people do shadow work, or you have to do it first for yourself, okay? You definitely do here. Six of Swords, yes, helping people across the river. Across the river Styx. Some of you are helping people make their transition, right? Some of you might be death doulas or people who work in hospice. Some of you might be, working in an OBGYN office and helping people bring life into the world. The midwives, things like that. There's definitely a sense of helping other people transition. We also have big transitions within our lives, not just the beginning and the end of this earth existence with this body and with this story, but with transitions during our lives, moving from one stage of life to another. You may be somebody who is going to be very adept at that or is working on becoming that. Page of Wands, especially inner child work here. Seven of Pentacles. Tower. Yep. So whatever you've been working on for yourself, I feel like there is a big transition that you are about to make, a big aha moment for yourself when you are seeing either a toxic system that you're a part of or a way of being that is draining you. Some of you have a story to tell that is absolutely worthy of being told. Other people need to hear it. Why is the Tower here? Hierophant, Four of Swords. Some of you are in toxic marriages, in toxic partnerships that need to be ended so you can heal. Yes. And I feel like some of you have been with a toxic partner that you have nurtured, that whole man baby thing or woman baby thing, that you have really just let them kind of run roughshod here. And it's time for you to nurture yourself. It's time for you to move into a place of healing. Some of you just want to run away, but I don't think you can do that. I feel like some of you have to learn to stand up and speak your truth, even if your voice shakes. We are in Gemini time, okay? And that is about telling the story and not allowing a story to be twisted beyond recognition, not allowing propaganda, not allowing someone to gaslight you, not allowing any of that. What about this Emperor? It's like you're taking your power back here. Four of Cups, Knight of Swords, Knight of Wands. There you are, the Hermit. So I know this isn't Pisces, this is Virgo. But whenever we get, I talk about this kind of a lot in Pathfinders, whenever we are really aligning with a certain zodiac sign, I'm just going to say like super aligned with Pisces, and things are out of balance for you, the way to balance things, the practical usage of astrology is to add the opposite sign. Add some energy of Virgo. Virgo is about healthy routines. Virgo is about you working on your own healing, as opposed to giving away all of your energy to other people. I feel like other people aren't going to be super psyched about this. Yeah, that morning message for June 4th. You should take a gander at that. This is about learning to, when you're gaslighting yourself. Second guessing is gaslighting. You're saying that your initial feelings were wrong, okay? And you're going back. There's usually a delay, a lag time when you go, I said no to that, but maybe I shouldn't have said no to that, right? Like this is what goes on when you don't really have a good compass, when you're over giving or oversharing or something like that, giving away, taking on everybody else's problems. It's really time to stop that and heal that. Add a little bit of Virgo in your life. Go read up about Virgo. Very interesting kind of energy to really start adding into your life. So I'm going to continue with this reading. If this reading is for you, there's a link below. I will go deeper into the astrology so you can get a stronger sense of that and see what houses things fall into. Link is below if you want to continue on. See you over there, Pisces. All right, I hope you enjoyed that video. If it was helpful to you, please consider liking this video and sharing it with anybody who might have a need for similar kind of information. And if you like this video, check out these videos.